I don't mean to laugh at these street dudes, man, but they be so goddamn passionate about that snitching and ratting, man. Some of them dudes be like, man, you can skin me alive before I snitch. I stand on morals and principles, meaning I don't snitch because I know that I'm with the bullshit too. Hello there, love bugs. Hello there, bellas. If you have not already done so, please remember to like, share to Facebook and or Twitter, subscribe, and visit uptopbeauty.com. Today's looky is a package deal. I am now, for a limited time, a limited amount, selling the JT RZA shade and the TT turban together as a package. The price I'm selling them both for is $40. Now that would exclude the shipping and the taxes, but you can't beat that deal. And if you are not already a part of this book club, please hit the Patreon link below and or the join button here on the YouTube. And for a small monthly fee of $5, you babies, look at that thing. Yes, you can be privy to all the shenanigans before the YouTube gets it, if the YouTube gets it. Tina did not participate in these parties. She turned up at functions for the press, the media, and to help our career, but she never came to the party rooms after the shows and never participated in any of the sexual acts there, nor did she use drugs. She didn't even smoke. She never could or would do drugs. The only time she ever did alcohol was if we went to some social gathering where everybody was drinking socially. She would take a glass, fill it half full, hold her nose, and swallow it straight down. And that happened maybe 3 times a year. Slowly, the drugs began to cause problems. We were setting it up all over Germany in these suites. There was a black German who used to have 5 girls who rode with him. He used to follow us all over Europe, and I would just give him booger sugar. About the 3rd time I went over there, this mother hunchy had started selling heroin or something. I didn't know nothing about it. You understand? This German dude had snitched, told the police that we had drugs and that he had bought his drugs from us. We hadn't even been over there at the time. We didn't go till the end of October, and he'd been caught in June. We were staying in a hotel about 40 miles from Dusseldorf when we went to work. The police went into our room and went through all of our stuff with a fine-tooth comb. Tina's clothes were thrown everywhere. My clothes were thrown everywhere. They looked down all the saxophones, everything. They just ransacked the hotel room. They didn't find nothing but 2 grass joints in a trumpet player's bedroom. They didn't find nothing in mine because there weren't nothing there. Meantime, the police came into the dressing room at the auditorium where we were playing and showed these little badges with their pictures on them. They told us they were there to search the premises, that they were looking for booger sugar. They searched and searched and searched. I had cocaine sitting in a little box that held an ounce. I had it in the shoulder pads of my suits. I had a dressing gown hanging there with an ounce in the pocket. It was in the jars on Tina's table, just sitting there where I could dip into it. And do you know, they searched that dressing room and they never saw it? Yeah, yes. That'd be funny to me when the police be going through stuff and you be looking like, is it right there? They just gonna, okay. So they apologized. They said this black German guy had told them that I was supplying him with heroin. That was why they were there. And I said, why would he lie like that? I ain't never sold him nothing. One time we had some booger sugar and we gave him some. They told me he'd been busted for heroin and had fingered me so that he could go free. Child. This is the deal with Rattn. Why people be so serious about rats, okay? Now, it's one thing if you were a regular civilian, because you know them street dudes, they soldiers, okay? Well, they are soldiers in a way. They street soldiers, right? But how it goes is this. If you just a regular civilian and you see a murder and then the police come to you and say, what happened? I seen this young dude roll up out of a Honda, I don't know, Prius or whatever, I don't know. Okay, he had on a red jacket, a cap, and some New Balance. I mean, because it is DC. And some New Balance. And he shot that little boy in the face. Can you give us a statement? Sure, I'll give you a statement. If you're a regular civilian. Me, because I am a civilian / touch on the shit, I'd be like, man, I ain't see nothing. Okay? Only because I knew the street dudes. Okay? And I ain't about to be the one to be like, boop, he did it. But if you're just a regular civilian and you live on the block and you're an adult and you're trying to protect your community, that's not snitching or rat. What is snitching is if you were the driver of the car who ran up on the little boy and then banged them things at him. And then the police got you and asked you what the hell happened. Oh, Ray did it. That's what make you a rat. When you willingly conspire with someone to do some type of criminal offense and then you rat out your co-conspirator, that's what's considered a rat. But if you a resident of the neighborhood, you see some fucked up shit, the police come to you and say, hey, can we look at your camera? There was a shooting in the alley. Can I notice that your camera right there? And then you hand it to the police. You're not a snitch. You just want to make your neighborhood safe. That's all it is. But child, if you the driver, okay, or you and Ray, the driver, and this other dude had received $500,000 to put a hit on this young man, and you decide, oh, I didn't do it, that other dude did it. So I hope that helps you understand the difference between snitch / rat / somebody that's just providing information to make the community safer. Okay, so they don't have no problems with y'all. As far as I'm concerned, the neighborhood, the street dudes don't have no problems with y'all. It be the motherfuckers that they be doing the business with, and they decide to turn in their butt.
Gunna took the plea deal.
Vlad, I cried, Vlad. Gunna hurt my heart. When people you love do this to you, it's not right at all. Half of them too told on Young Thug. All of them got their fame off Young Thug. Most of them met their baby mamas cause you wouldn't even have a child. And the radio's the problem with it. You still playing the rats. So you letting them double dip. You letting them be snitches and gangster rap. We need to get on these fucking radio who playing all this rat music.
I looked into this case pretty carefully. Gunna was not facing any serious charges. I honestly think if he had gone to trial, he probably would have beaten him.
He wouldn't have got over 5 years, and that's probation. Bro, I was trying to have hope for that. My boy been said. My boy said that nigga rat, he trying to get that new Louis Vuitton Virgil that's coming out for Christmas.
Look, I don't mean to laugh at these street dudes, man, but they be so goddamn passionate about that snitching and ratting, man. Some of them dudes be like, man, you can skin me alive before I snitch. I stand on morals and principles, meaning I don't snitch because I know that I'm with the bullshit too. Turn Europe for 30 days, we had to carry a lot of booger sugar, usually a couple of pounds. I don't want to let on how I did it, but I'll give you an instance. When we got to Osaka, Ann Thomas, Tina, Rhonda, and I were together. We're coming down the steps of the airplane, and this old man walked up and he bowed at Tina and Rhonda, and he bowed at Ann Thomas, and he said, Mr. Turner, I've read about you in the paper. Very ripe tomato, very ripe tomato. He was calling my head a tomato, so ripe tomato means I'm smart. I said, thank you, thank you. He said, have a good show. My grandson's coming. I said, okay. So we gone on inside. and Thomas, Rhonda, and I, and the dude that is basically their tour guide, or the female, because I don't know if Masayama is a male or a female, but he's there with them acting as like their chauffeur slash tour guide while they're in Japan doing a show. We all are used to going through the same line in customs because they didn't usually stop me. Usually they let me go on through. But with the band members and things, sometimes they spot checked them and sometimes they didn't. And Thomas was over there talking to one of the Ikettes. She ain't in my line where she is supposed to be, and she got my overnight kit. So when she get up there to the customs, the man looked trying to see her titties through this thin blouse she was wearing. He ain't thinking about my overnight kit. He just ramming in there. Now he's got the box in his hand. He's just fucking with the box, but he's still trying to look at her boobs. All at once, this damn thing's top came off. Coke went all over customs counter. And this guy said, "What's this?" He put his finger in it. "What's this?" And shouted, "It's BC! BC powder! It's BC!" He said, "BC? Headache powder?" He put his finger in it again and put it on his tongue. So I knew his tongue was going to be dead in a few minutes. Then he flicked on his red light, and all the red lights above all the custom tables flicked on. He is calling his superior. So that old man who'd read about me appeared. He was head of customs, and I didn't know it. He came down and put his hand in the booger sugar, waved it aside, and said, "Have a good show." So this is what I'm thinking when it comes down to the customs supervisor. He said his grandson was going to the show, and what he was not going to be was the grandpappy that ruined his grandson's night. When we got to the hotel, we had maybe a pound of booger sugar left. I called a meeting for all the band. I told them what I had thought we ought to do. Get Ann Thomas out of the country, I said. Rhonda, you call and find out what time the next train is leaving for Tokyo and what plane she could connect with from the train where she could go to America. I was expecting this young dude to go to his superior and try to make a name for himself. To make Anne less noticeable, we took off her wig. Now Anne don't look oriental. She looked like a gypsy without a Tina wig on. Leon Blue, my piano player, we took his wig off. He's bald on top. When he wears a wig, he looks something like me. I gave them $4,000 and told them, you catch the fast train. And when you get to the airport, if they don't have enough seats on the airplane, here's $4,000. $2,000 each. Give someone that $2,000 for their seat. Make sure you get on that plane out of here tonight. Meantime, I took all this booger sugar. We got out of all these different hiding spots and told a roadie, okay, flush it all. And boy, he sat there scooping it out, putting it in the can and flushing it away. Then he'd put some up in his nose and say, Lord have mercy. What you got to throw all this away for? I said, because the police could come down to that place tonight and that little boy trying to get rank, he could have told on the old man. I don't know whether that old man knew it was coke or what. He just said, have a good show, Ike. Anyway, the next day I gave my secretary $20,000 to give to him. When we got to the airport, it was his day off. I ain't been back to Osaka since. The drug thing just got bigger and bigger until finally it was totally uncontrollable. As long as I had money and knew where to go and get the stuff, I would go. It is my belief that every drug abuser really wants to stop, but subconsciously he dreads what he will have to go through and the time it will take to accomplish it. I get it. You see, when you do drugs, it's a totally destructive thing. When you start, it's okay, but the next thing you know, you start living for the next hit. I can only talk about crack cocaine, man. When you start, it is fun, but after 3 or 4 times, it becomes a priority. When you get up in the mornings, man, you're not looking for a plate of food to eat. You're looking for drugs. You're not living for anything but that. It got to where my nose was getting real sore, then started bleeding. We were playing somewhere in Europe and Tina was sick. A doctor came to see her and I told him about my nose. He put a light up there and said, well, you got a hole through there. It was a little hole then, but it started to bother me. It began to hurt me so bad, man, that when I woke up in the morning, I had to go get me another hit. I had to put more cocaine in there to deaden it. And then I used to pray, man, Lord Jesus, if you just let me go 5 days without doing this shit, I'll never go back to doing it no more. Now, what he said was he tried the 5-day thing. I'll try it. Let's see if it works. Don't work. Let's start again tomorrow. Didn't work. Didn't work for him. Until finally it did. That's why I don't ever have to worry about ever doing drugs again. Because, man, I'm clean now. I feel great. And I don't regret that I did it. It was an experience. I learned, and I think I am healthy today. I'm in good health, good spirits. I think I can save a lot of other people from going down that route. But I don't put them down because I understand why they do it. I also know that they don't want to do it. They done got trapped in a situation they can't get out of. The ones who wish to get out of it, I can give them the tools to do it. But it was to be 20 years before Ike stopped taking drugs. By that time, cocaine had destroyed his relationship with Tina, lost him the love of the beautiful Ann Thomas, ruined his relationship with several other women, damaged his children, devastated his career, squandered his talent, wrecked his business, and consumed everything he owned. The first time I got in trouble with the police was about a blue box. It had to be 1970, 1971.
Hollywood, lovely white line, baby Carrie. No all the stars and all the central balls, but it is in Hollywood.